artist's name is Snyder. I am a mural artist from Berlin, Germany. And I'm out here to paint for the Aurora Highlands.
My name is Kendall Kipley. All of my work is based on glaciers, ice, snow, and like the movement of water. And that's the imagery that I use to source my designs, but I also think, like conceptually, think that the idea of water and change in environment and how water changes a landscape and shapes it is a mirror to our inner world. And so a lot of my work includes like poetic statements, like in the other one it says, "Don't let me go." And in the tunnel we're standing in, it reads, "Fühlst du mich?" which is in German, "Can you feel me?" which is a phrase that is about the unmeasured energy that you feel when you experience an art installation or something that moves you.
The first time I got approached was actually by Carla, who is the curator of all this. And she bought a print of mine. A couple of years later, Olivia Steele reached out to me. She knows my work from Berlin because she also has a studio there. And we always wanted to collaborate on a project. When she came here to install her art, it was clear that we could do that collaboration here in one of those tunnels. So the story of this tunnel is that Olivia came up with a phrase which is a quote by Robert Frost: "The only way out is through." And this became the theme of our project, reminding us that perseverance is key when you go through the challenges of life. We decided to make the message even stronger by painting all of the tunnel so that it becomes more or less an immersive experience. I love painting outside because I get direct response from people passing by. Whereas in the studio, you're all by yourself alone for hours and hours, and painting outside is much more fun to me. So the phrase says, "The only way out is through." And the other day, a man who lived here in this community passed by, a local, and said to me that whenever he does his work out here and he's running through the tunnel, this helps him keep going. So that's one of the things, one of the small interactions I like about this painting outside, that you really get to know what people think of your art.
It's the first time I've painted an enclosed outdoor tunnel space, so fighting the elements of wind and cold and heat, and then you're also in the public, so you have interruption, but that also is the best part of it because you get to see how the art is affecting people as you're installing it.
There were a lot of challenges doing this project. The weather, of course, it was very hot in between. I have to wear a full face mask all the time when painting. And the wind. The wind is probably the worst because it's channeled in the tunnel and you have much more wind in here, which is obviously bad for spraying.
This particular project is unique because I'm collaborating with another artist, Snyder, who lives in Berlin. So we didn't have a whole lot of time together in planning to prepare, but Carla saw that both of our styles really complemented each other and wanted the local presence of artists here in Denver and Aurora and the surrounding areas here in Colorado, but also international representation. And I think she really saw it as an opportunity to bring not only this community together, but different artists from around the world.
The cool thing about traveling and painting is, for me, actually meeting people, meeting new people. And we're like, the street art community is a community. I can go wherever I want in the world. I will always find people who are like-minded, and I'm always able to connect wherever I go through my art. I think what's special for my art is that I'm using this optical effect called chromatic aberration. That's where my colors come from. And then I have these fluid shapes, and I'm using these colors for everything I paint, whether it's abstract, like most of the parts in this tunnel, or animals or portraits. And that's some kind of my distinguishable style.
There's so many moments in life where you're sharing an experience with someone and you can just feel that they feel the same way. and it's might be slightly different, but that's what makes us human and connects us. So this piece particularly is, especially being here in the Aurora Highlands, is about how do we feel about bringing this type of art park and this gallery, this international gallery, to a space that's accessible, public, and open daily to anyone who wants to visit. And you know, instead of telling people how to feel, it's more like, what does this make you feel?
Also the fact that people get to see your art without having to buy a ticket for a museum or for a gallery. You know, they just walk the street and suddenly they, boom, see something that they didn't expect. And that's the power of street art, I think. There are more and more mural artists out there, and public art is something that's being more and more valued. And that's something I really like about it. And people start to understand what it can do for a community, whereas before they just didn't know. Ich glaube, wenn man sowas machen will unbedingt, also als Mural Artist Vollzeit arbeiten, sollte man keine Angst davor haben, sondern einfach machen. Und vor allem seinem Herzen folgen. Man sollte immer das tun, was man wirklich liebt, weil so hat man immer genug Energie, um die ganzen Höhen und Tiefen durchzustehen. So the more street art, the more murals we have, the more life there is, I think, in cities. And that's even the case when it's just illegal graffiti. It shows there's some life going on there. So graffiti for me is the mother of it all. And if you look at this here, which is a curated art park, it has nothing to do with graffiti, but the good thing is you get to speak to a broader audience of people when you do street art and murals as when you do graffiti, where it's just about your ego, basically.
The size of this park is impressive, and there's no other place that I know of, really anywhere, but especially in Colorado, that has such a diverse and unique amount and variant of different art pieces from all around the world, but also from local artists. And it's truly something to witness, like the larger than life sculptures, like the tucked away signage, and just from like small details to large installations, everything is really intentionally curated and thought through. And there's 20 that I know of, and at least 30 more on the way.